Officials say they'll deport Kilmore Abrego Garcia to Uganda. He's the Maryland-based Salvadoran who was wrongly deported, then returned to the U.S. to answer criminal charges. America is listening to Fox News.
From around the world,
Trey Yingst, joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel.
To Washington,
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
The Justice Department.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Arresting a woman following a shooting on IU's campus. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. Students are still trying to settle in on campus as shots were fired this weekend at Indiana University. Ryan Hedrick has more from Bloomington.
You may have heard about a shooting hoax at Villanova University in Philadelphia where somebody called into the school to say there was an active shooter. That turned out to be not true. But about 2:40 in the morning on Saturday, IU police started pushing out alerts about a shooting on campus at 10th and Walnut Grove. What it revealed was an 18-year-old woman not affiliated with the school shot another woman that she knew. The shooter is in jail. The woman that she shot is in the hospital. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Meanwhile, IMPD says a person was shot and killed early Saturday morning with another person injured on the city's near north side. Indianapolis police are still working to gather more information. Indiana University is getting a financial boost from Merchants Bank. Those two entities have begun a partnership which includes a $50 million investment by the bank to the university over a period of 20 years. IU Athletic Director Scott Dolson.
Maintaining staff, coaches, across the board is really, really important to us.
Having up-to-date facilities is also one of the school's main priorities. The playing surface at IU's Memorial Stadium is now known as Merchants Bank Field. And the Colts are through with the preseason after this weekend's game with Cincinnati. They will now work to get their roster down to 53 and prepare for the season opener at home on September 7th against the Miami Dolphins. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Most remain dry, low temperature tonight, around 60 degrees. Sunday, mostly sunny, high temperatures in the mid-70s. And looking ahead to Monday, highs in the low to mid-70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Everyone's talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like your neighbor Jerry.
When we first started looking for different options, we went to the internet. Really, we did choose Galaxy and definitely happy that we did. We first had our front porch and our pool deck done. Decided we loved it so much, we had them out about 10, 11 months later to finish up and do our back porch.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
The crews at Galaxy were great. They actually cared about my property, very punctual, knowledgeable, and just a great group of workers.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings works for any area like patios, garage floors, driveways, and around pools.
I'm 100% satisfied. It's not slippery and it's not hot. I was very impressed with the product. It's amazing that I don't burn my feet and my 6-year-old doesn't fall.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com and remember to like us on Facebook, GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com. We are out of this world.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Hello,
Hello, everybody. This is Saturday Night on the Circle, and I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, joined by producer Jack, who's beep, 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 pushing those buttons and doing the things to make the show function. This segment, I wanted to talk about changes that are sweeping the nation that have drawn the attention and ire of many, but also stay tuned for Hour 2. We got a lot of guests coming up. Brian Baker returns to the program for the first time in a while. Of course, we also have our regularly scheduled Conspiracy Corner segment with producer Carl, and also replaying the last Antique Show and Tell from the first day's show with Terry Stacy last Sunday. Don't miss it all coming up in Hour 2. But like I said, I wanted to begin the show, first of all, with this new rebranding of Cracker Barrel. It includes the interiors and the logo. It has touched a firestone of outrage. Producer Jack, have you seen the new proposed simplified edition of the famed Cracker Barrel logo? First time in, I believe, more than 40 years.
I have not.
Okay, it looks like a Denny's. It is now kind of diamond shaped and plain yellow with a brown text. It's hideous. It has no character. They took off the cracker and the barrel from Cracker Barrel, so it lacks the symbolism, and they're trying to clean up the interior. If you've ever been to a Cracker Barrel, you know that it's got cluttered walls with antiques. It's got an old-fashioned look, brown, lots of brown colors for, they're trying to imitate a general store. Now it looks like a Bob Evans. Have you looked up the logo?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's boring.
I don't like it.
Boring is the word.
Yeah.
It has no character, no immediate identification. It's a drastic departure from what was there. And now you got the CEO, this one, Julie Fells Messino, trying to do damage control on Good Morning America. And she claims that everybody likes it. What are you talking about? Everybody she's talked to is thrilled. Sure, lady. Sure.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messino, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to stay?
The peg game is staying.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs,
And the
fireplace, vintage decor. It's all there.
All right. Okay, because that would be a deal breaker.
It is crazy. We say to give a woman power is like to give a gun to a monkey. We have stopped doing that ever since the 1999 Astana Zoo massacre.
People are so aggressively opposed to these changes, producer Jack. Since she has taken charge of Cracker Barrel, I believe it was in 2023, their stock value has dropped more than 40% from where it was. Just after this announcement made the rounds, they lost $200 million of their market cap. She is seriously trying to compete with Alyssa Heinerscheid of Bud Light fame for most damage committed to a company brand. And the problem is, I don't think these people, A, understand their target demographic, or B, have a lick of brand loyalty or experience. This is something that's mirrored across other elements of the industry, certainly in Hollywood, where you put people in charge of a brand or a franchise that's recognized and beloved, and they crash it into the ground. Look what Disney has done with Star Wars, and that's because none of the people that they put in charge, A, know the target demographic of Star Wars, or B, have any connection to that brand. So it goes with what's happening at Cracker Barrel. This woman started out with a career in Starbucks, where she spent the majority of her time in the early 2000s up to, I believe, 2014, and then she's been ping-ponging around these various corporations ever since, including, I think, a position at Mattel, Sprinkles, Cupcakes, Taco Bell, and maybe one or two others. Taco Bell was where she had spent some time before becoming the CEO of Cracker Barrel. And the thing is, producer Jack, don't mess with a formula that works. Cracker Barrel's popularity and market cap had exploded in recent years, and now I believe the CEO is just trying to make their mark. Just look like they're doing something important, and in the end, changing something that never needed to be altered to begin with. Now Steak and Shake has entered the fray. They are taking shots across the bow, producer Jack. Somebody's out for blood who's running their social media handle over on the Twitter machine. They tweeted out, sometimes people want to change things just to put their own personality on it. At Cracker Barrel, their goal is just to delete the personality altogether. Hence the elimination of the old timer from their signage. Heritage is what got Cracker Barrel this far, and now the CEO wants to scrape it all away. At Steak and Shake, we take pride in our history, our families, and American values. All are welcome. We will never market ourselves away from the past in a cheap effort to gain the approval of trend seekers. Ouch! Somebody better call the hospital and send Cracker Barrel down to the burn unit because they just got slaughtered by Steak and Shake. So yeah, I agree with most of the aversion to the logo changes. I think it's part of a larger pattern of the uglification of our society. So little care and attention is paid to brand design, logo design, architecture, and we're surrounded by it. We are surrounded by societal decay, and I liken this to a form of psychological warfare, producer Jack, because the world is so aggressively ugly when you walk outside, and it's embodied by moronic blue hair CEOs just like the Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Fells Messino. So I'm sure we'll see more blowback from that in the coming days, but I wanted to share my thoughts. And Cracker Barrel, not the only entity that is changing with the times. Also, MSNBC, they're a failing network. They still are, as far as I know, under control of Comcast, who is now spinning off their unsuccessful cable networks into a separate package, MSNBC included. And now, since they'll no longer be affiliated with their parent network, NBC, well, they got to rebrand too, and their name change is perhaps even more baffling, but not nearly the level of outrage, because who gives a damn about MSNBC? But this was announced by Joe Scarborough on the Morning Joe Show.
We will become MS Now, which stands for My Source for News, Opinion, and the World. And look, Andrew, they even have a graphic up. I like it.
There it is.
Actually,
the new logo.
It looks very sporty.
You serious?
I suspect it might not happen overnight, but in a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years, MSNBC, or now MS Now, is going to be a thing of the past, because this is a brand change not done out of desire but out of necessity. They're being spun off because they are already an unsuccessful entity, and when you make a shift, especially when you untether them from any level of accountability or oversight, I think that they potentially may dive even further off the deep end into liberal insanity. So we could be quickly approaching a day where MSNBC or their rebranded MS Now is truly a thing of the past. But we have Cracker Barrel, we have MSNBC, and also another entity many may be surprised to hear, Jehovah's Witnesses. Yes, we've talked about them a number of times on the program before. They are also undergoing a very important rebrand, producer Jack, because now, after more than 100 years of shunning higher education and barring members under penalty from pursuing a college career, now the governing body has generously decided that it's a personal matter if you want to decide to pursue higher education. Again, after a 100-year history of opposition.
Is it appropriate for Christians to pursue additional education? With this update, we'd like to clarify our understanding. While there are dangers involved in pursuing certain forms of education, basically, whether to obtain additional education or not is a matter for personal decision.
Excuse me, are y'all with the cult?
We're not a cult. We're an organization that promotes love.
Yeah, this is it.
Now, I didn't need these old dorks' permission to tell me that whether I was allowed or not allowed to go to college, because I left their crappy religion and decided to go anyway. But I do feel sorry for the ones that remain who have to rely on the permission and the whim of these cult members who oversee every element of their life. This will hopefully improve the lives of those who still remain within the organization, but my mind is immediately drawn to the dozens of individuals that I personally know who would have had a bright and happy future, opportunities handed to them in college because they were smart. They would have had scholarships. They would have had grant money to get them through, opportunities that they had to pass by because they were told by this authoritarian cult whether they were allowed to pursue higher education. So it's very hypocritical, and for them to change direction now. But yes, they are also in the midst of a rebrand, just like Cracker Barrel and MS Now. Lots of changes in the air this week, producer Jack, Jehovah's Witnesses included. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. This is Saturday Night on the Circle. Coming up next, stay tuned because you'll hear Counselor Jesse Brown literally eat crow. Don't miss it.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News, weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zerorez, and the August flash sale is on. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119, plus a free hallway and $75 off duct cleaning. Now, when was the last time you gave your carpets some love? Listen, they are the largest air filter in your home, and unless those carpets are cleaned on a regular basis, the stuff that's in the fibers can be downright scary. There's a good chance you're breathing unhealthy levels of germs, dirt, dander, bacteria that just keep recirculating again and again. Well, with the Zerorez August flash sale, all of that could be history. And with their great gotta love it guarantee, they're going to make sure your investment with them is a great experience. The Zerorez service is easy to line up. Just go online at ZerorezIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Mention WIBC, you'll get 3 rooms cleaning starting at $119. $119 plus a free hallway and $75 off duct cleaning. It's the Zerorez August flash sale, 317-388-5141. Online at ZerorezIndy.com.
It's Terry Stacy, and not too many locally owned businesses in central Indiana have been around 80 years, but Cardwell Do It Best Home Center on the south side has stood the test of time. This year, Cardwell Do It Best is celebrating 80 years of serving Indianapolis, and they're saying thank you with some really great deals. Cardwell Do It Best is your discount roofing headquarters, featuring dimensional roofing as low as $21 per bundle. With a wide variety of colors in stock, you'll find the perfect match for your home. Need to freshen up inside? Check out their full line of best look quality paints by Sherwin-Williams with paint and primer in one and custom computer paint matching to get your color just right. And for the yard, they carry a full line of trusted lawn and garden products, including Scott's Lawn Care to keep your grass green. Come celebrate 80 years strong at Cardwell Do It Best, locally owned, community trusted, and always ready to help you do it best. 3205 Madison Avenue, or shop online at CardwellHomeCenter.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work. Sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who'll help combat climate change. And generating possibilities for a student who'll be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
This time next week, I'll be sick in bed with West Nile virus, thanks to a mosquito bite right in front of my house.
In 8 minutes, my daughter will be in an ambulance, having an asthma attack, triggered by cockroaches.
I'm going to be bitten by a tick today. I won't even know it until Lyme disease turns my life upside down.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
There are 48 million unpaid family caregivers in the United States. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to access a free guide to help navigate your caregiving journey.
Indy Humane. Find your new best friend today. Visit indyhumane.org.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher. That's producer Jack on the board. This segment, I wanted to talk about the Indy Council courting a new data center that could be going up in Franklin, Indiana, Franklin Township, Indiana. They're getting ready to have. Indianapolis, I should say. They're getting ready to have a vote, and currently the council Republicans mercifully have indicated that they will be voting against this monstrosity, something that greatly surprised Socialist City Council member Jesse Brown, who then took to social media, producer Jack, and I gotta hand it to this guy, at least he's got a sense of humor. He thought that the Republicans were going to be voting in the data center there in Franklin Township for Indianapolis, and they have signaled their opposition to it, so he decided to eat crow, and by that I mean literally. This was great.
Okay, everybody, last night I posted because I had intel that Republicans were planning on voting yes to the super unpopular data center. As it turns out, all the Republicans have issued a statement saying they're going to support Councilor Hart and vote no against the Google data center in Franklin Township. So I made a promise, holding myself accountable. I said I would eat crow if I was wrong about this. So I don't know how well you can read this. I just drew a little picture of a crow because I don't have any actual birds on hand. So the Republicans will vote no. Time for me to eat it. I was wrong, and I'm so glad to be wrong. Thank you, Republican caucus.
Oh, that is true. I didn't see that coming. An astute observation has led to laughter. We are laughing.
And since you couldn't see it on the camera, he was literally, of course, stuffing the paper into his mouth and chewing it up. So, this was funny, and I got to hand it to Councilor Jesse Brown for at least having a sense of humor. But the Republicans should absolutely oppose this data center's erection in Indianapolis because it offers nothing to Hoosiers. It's not giving us jobs, producer Jack. These are just computers. Computers, mind you, that are eating up a significant amount of power from AES, a significant amount of water to cool the damn things, and a significant amount of land, more than 400 acres, I believe, just to put the thing up. So we're not getting any jobs out of it. It's eating up our utility rates. It's eating up a significant portion of land. And in order to build the thing, in order to attract Google here in the first place, they would be giving significant discounts on those utility bills. So they would be offloading the cost onto us, onto the people that are paying the rates to these utility monopolies just to make this data center theoretically possible. And then also they would be giving it tax abatements. So you're not getting anything in the form of taxation either. This is just a giveaway, a freebie to the tech giants and to one of the most powerful corporations in the United States, Google. We have no business in giving them free money. They have enough money. They certainly don't need it from the residents of Indianapolis. So I'm glad that Jesse Brown and the Council Republicans will be opposing establishing the data center down there in Franklin Township because we don't need the thing. It offers us nothing, and we stand a significant amount to lose by installing it. Elsewhere in the city of Indianapolis, we keep seeing stories like this over and over and over again. It's disgusting, but at this point, it's predictable. Because of the revolving door of the criminal justice system and specifically the actions of Ryan, friend of the miscreant Mears, prosecutor here in Indianapolis, that gives these sweetheart deals to violent criminals. This time, this was a 19-year-old who was accused of shooting a rival gang member's house on Indy's near west side. 5 days, producer Jack. 5 days after he took a plea deal from Ryan Mears and that put him on a GPS monitoring system. So earlier last year, due to investigation about gang activity on the west side surrounding several members of the Taliban Chapa gang, one of them that was arrested was 18-year-old at the time, Hector Suarez, for dealing marijuana and engaging in gang violence. Ryan Mears offered him a plea deal to accept, I believe it was the marijuana charge, but drop the serious criminal gang activity and dismissed by July 28th when he was released on a GPS monitor. But 5 days later, on August 6th, was when he allegedly drove to a home near 10th Street and King Road, firing dozens of gunshots into the house, and his GPS monitor put him at the scene of the crime. So, Producer Jack, we're clearly not dealing with a brainiac here. If you are wearing a tracking device to commit your criminal activity. But this is predictable because he already had a proclivity for activities just like that. Ryan Mears knew it. Certainly anybody with an ounce of common sense knew it. And he let him back out on society to reoffend anyway. And that's the problem that many critics of Ryan, friend of the miscreant Mears, have of the way he runs the prosecutor's department, because there's never any accountability for the criminals, and it's the citizens who are far too often caught in the crossfire. So, yeah, just another example of what's been going on around here in the city of Indianapolis. There was a rather dramatic scene that unfolded this week at a Micah Beckwith town hall event. Have you seen this, Producer Jack? There was some crazy footage. It was a liberal woman who let her emotions get the better of her, and she put her hands on a police officer, and the situation deteriorated from there. This was footage that was republished by Wish TV8.
It is a mental disorder. That's what
He said it's a man.
Yes, he does. You are now. We're on TikTok.
You're hurting me! You are hurting me! You touched me once, don't do it again! Hey, we want to sit there! Get up! Why is there a man sitting on me right now? Why is there a man sitting on me right now?
You get off of me, sir! You don't put me up against the wall, sir!
Can I de-escalate this?
I would love that. I just want to find my
Everybody's really in charge right now, and I understand it.
They shouldn't have their hands on them. My hand is hurt right now. This is so he's pulling me. Can somebody stop this? You are pulling me, sir. You are pulling me. Let me go. You are hurting her. Don't help me. Oh, why?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
So suffice to say, the situation quickly spiraled out of control. These are people who are not in charge of their emotions, and Micah Beckwith knows that. I actually appreciated Rob Kendall's take this week on the Kendall and Casey program when he indicated that he believes Micah Beckwith is holding these town halls to elicit that response from liberal audience members. It's what he wants. Charlie Kirk, who is a conservative pundit and campus instigator, is famous for interactions just like this at campuses around America. But that's fine, because he's a pundit, he's a commentator, he's an entertainer, he's somebody that's trying to get his brand and his name recognized on social media. Micah Beckwith is in the government. Micah Beckwith is the lieutenant governor. Micah Beckwith should be spending his time finding ways to either do his job or improve the lives of Hoosiers in the state of Indiana. And what he's not doing in these town halls is gaining any level of insight on how to govern better in the state of Indiana. He's not getting information that is being used to propose legislation. He's doing this to get his name out there, to push his brand, and try and make this the staging area, or the staging laying the groundwork, I should say, for pursuing office elsewhere. I mean, I think, and I also believe that's part of the reason why he supports redistricting, because he would absolutely love a shot at a relatively safe, guaranteed congressional seat here in the state of Indiana. Mark my words. Mark my words. But what he's not doing is bettering your life by engaging in these things. And I don't oppose the liberals being arrested. Obviously, they lost control of themselves and they got what they deserve. But at the same time, this isn't beneficial to you or me. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC Saturday Night on the Circle. Coming up next, the Sound Dump. Don't miss it.
Hammer and Nigel.
The state of Texas can require voter ID for mail-in ballots.
It's not required already.
But Joe Biden got 82 million legal votes, Nigel. If you think otherwise, you might as well put the tinfoil hat on, okay? I don't think it's asking too much to have some sort of proof that you're a legal citizen in your mail-in ballot. Find a way.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numbness, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Matt Schulke, chiropractic neurologist and board certified in neuropathy. What is neuropathy?
Neuropathy is nerve damage in the feet or hands.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
Absolutely, and we get amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, pain, or balance issues, call Dr. Schulke today for a free nerve damage screening. This screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for their specialized treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call 463-400-3338. Act now. Call 463-400-3338 for your free nerve damage screening. 463-400-3338.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Have you tried Wings Etc's new ranch fire sauce? House-made ranch with a fiery kiss of fresh ground habanero peppers and garlic. New ranch fire on our hand-breaded chicken sandwich? Big flavor. On a jalapeno bacon burger? Big flavor. On anything, wings, fries, pretzel bites? Big flavor. When you want to dance with spicy ranch, come to the folks who've been flying the big flavor flag since 1994. Wings Etc. We got your big flavor right here. Visit wingsetc.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Fox News, I'm Angelo Bavaro. Russia bombing a factory owned by Americans while attacking western Ukraine, adding more uncertainty to U.S.-led peace efforts. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
After the summit in Alaska and days after Trump met with European leaders here at the White House, Russian forces launched one of its largest drone and missile attacks during the war against Ukraine. One of the targets was one American-owned business that sold electronics.
President Trump says he will give the Kremlin 2 more weeks to consider peace talks before the U.S. increases sanctions. An illegal immigrant trucker charged in a deadly Florida crash has been denied bond.
The judge says that since 28-year-old Harjinder Singh is an illegal immigrant, she believes he is a flight risk.
Fox's Madison Scarpino. America is listening to Fox News.
Lynn just loves the summer in Indy, but she's not going to spend it painting. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said They don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put on your handy-dandy hazmat suit once again as we wade through another week in news. This week, we'll begin across the pond in Scotland, where a self-proclaimed tribe of transient Africans have set up camp in the woods to reestablish what they believe is their lost kingdom. A golfer at the BMW Golf Championships won a $2 million prize after a fly helped him sink a shot in a once-in-a-lifetime show-stopping moment. A Florida congresswoman has been triggered by a normal, non-rainbow crosswalk and now demands pedestrian infrastructure affirm minority sexualities. Finally, you'll hear CNN apply a surprisingly complimentary nickname to President Trump, and you'll hear it all on this edition of The Sound Dump.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage truck.
It's the Saturday Night Sound Dump on 93 WIBC.
I take you to the dump. I show you the sights, you know you wanna ride. I'm a garbage truck. Truck.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on The Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher. That's producer Jack on the board. Beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. We begin in Scotland, producer Jack, where of all things, 3 people have now set up camp in the woods. These are Africans who claim to represent a lost tribe and are reestablishing the Kubala Kingdom in Scotland. Producer, yeah, Africans, an African tribe in Scotland. One of them's a self-proclaimed king, the other's a self-proclaimed queen, and then they have a handmaiden, and you won't believe where she's from.
So we just wanted to come and speak to you and to see what's been happening, how you feel, what you're doing here.
We are Kubala. We are a tribe. Our tribe used to be in this land 400 years ago. Our tribes were deported from this land during the time of Elizabeth I and Oliver Cromwell. We were deported to Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname.
Can I ask you a question? Sure, anything. Why don't you go back to your own house and stop bothering us?
So this king, he's been spotted around town there in Scotland at various fast food establishments, just trying to cruise off their free Wi-Fi for customers. So this king, his real name is Kofi Afa. He's a 36-year-old from Ghana. His queen, by the name of Jean Gasho, she's from Zimbabwe. And then, like I said, their handmaiden, she's possibly the strangest of all, because it turns out this handmaiden was a woman who was missing from Texas. And here she shows up all the way in Scotland, now part of this made-up African kingdom hanging out in the woods, the Kubala Kingdom, where she thinks she's a handmaiden. And this is her.
I am the handmaid of Queen Naini. I am the inferior mistress, and I also play as a surrogate for the queen. I'm also the bondwoman of the king, which means I do not have the formal title of a wife, but he is my husband, and we are a tribe.
The kingdom of Kubala has been on a pilgrimage to our lost heritage, following the roots of our ancestors back to the land where Jacob, our forefather, laid his stone, the stone of scorn, and he blessed it with oil.
Oh my.
After he poured the oil, he said, one day, the Messiah, his son,
the Shiloh,
the Shiloh shall return to Scotland, and he shall build back the lost heritage, the lost kingdom, the last kingdom of Scotland.
Little weird. Slightly crazy.
So this is just reinforcing the old adage that if you import the third world, you will become the third world. Clearly, these individuals are a little off kilter, and birds of a feather, they flock together. The crazies, they just know how to find each other. And this woman, she says she's all right. She posted a video and released to the UK authorities and said, obviously, I am not missing. Leave me alone. I'm an adult and not a helpless child. So how she ended up in Scotland remains unknown, but, you know, at least now her family knows where she ended up. She is in the Kubala Kingdom in the Scottish woods. Hopefully they'll get Scotland Yard on top of that, because I don't think you can have these mentally unstable crazies running around your woods. That's not good for anybody. Here was a show-stopping moment that was caught at the BMW Golf Championships, producer Jack. And the best part was this was caught on camera, where a golf ball had rolled right to the very edge of the hole. It was literally just barely able to go in, and a fly crawling across the ball was what made the difference. This was caught on camera.
For his first birdie of the day. Oh, it looks good. Oh my word, that is sitting right on the edge of the cup. You might want to walk a bit slower, Tommy. Give it a minute.
There it goes.
Me, watch the fly. There he is. He's on the. There he comes, and he goes. No, I'm not having this. I'm going to wander over the equator, and in we go. Thank you very much.
Oh man, that was totally wicked!
So the difference between Tommy Fleetwood winning $2 million and him coming away with nothing was that fly that crawled across his ball. I bet he felt like the luckiest golfer in the world. That is incredible. How many times have you ever seen something like that happen in sports, producer Jack? I don't think there's a sport that would matter as much as golf, because when is a fly going to be landing on a football and making a difference?
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy coincidence, and even better that the spectacle was it was made for TV. It was literally made for TV. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle, 93 WIBC. Last weekend, this is a bit of old hat at this point, but we had, I thought it was 24, but I think I'm being a little bit generous there. It was closer to a dozen, according to reports from TV of jackbooted thugs, Nazis who were all dressed up in black, walking around downtown Indianapolis. And social media was sent to tizzy by this. It got extensive coverage on local media, and even the chief of police made sure to release a statement to cool temperatures.
Well, tonight, the chief of police and the head of the Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police are responding to a viral video of a Nazi rally held downtown this weekend. Now, we've made the decision to not show the video to you here, but in it, you can see that about a dozen men dressed head to toe in all black, they carried swastika flags, chanted white power, and marched around doing the Hitler salute. Some even carried assault rifles. Chief Bailey writing on X tonight that IMPD closely monitored that demonstration, but says, quote, safeguarding First Amendment rights, even for those whose views we find reprehensible, is a responsibility we take seriously. But let me be clear, protecting those rights is not an endorsement of those beliefs. Not now, not ever. Again, that's the chief.
Help. Police. Murder.
Now, first and foremost, screw these guys. I don't think it really needs to be said. Anybody with a good head on their shoulders is not going to align themselves with these jackbooted thugs marching around downtown Indianapolis. But that said, there were like I said, maybe 10 of them tops. They were making their salutes and they were shouting their chants. And that was it, Producer Jack. I remember the Black Lives Matter riots, and it was nowhere near as peaceful. And yet, we did not get this level of breathless media and social media coverage from the riots in downtown Indianapolis. They were defacing monuments. They were smashing small businesses. People died, Producer Jack. The streets were temporarily closed downtown as they were trying to contain the riots. I barely was able to leave the station. The point being, the people marching around downtown dressed up like Nazis didn't even do a fraction of the damage of the Black Lives Matter protests. But we didn't get a statement from the chief of police then. I think this is an overreaction. Let the dorks walk around downtown. They didn't smash anything. They didn't harass anybody. And nobody supports them either, nor should they. And yet we got this hyperbolic, hyperactive overreaction to a bunch of dorks walking around downtown, and I don't think it was that deep. Nor do I think it's that deep that the Florida Department of Transportation decided to paint over one of these rainbow crosswalks in, I think it was Orlando, Florida. And Representative Anna Eskenazi, she's not having it. She's flipping her lid. She's totally triggered by a non-rainbow crosswalk, Producer Jack. Imagine being so fragile.
Hey everyone, it's Representative Anna Eskenazi, and I'm here right now at the Pulse Rainbow Crosswalk that FDOT thought was appropriate to sneak into our community in the middle of the night and to totally erase. I think it's so important to remember that FDOT decided, that Governor DeSantis decided, out of all the crosswalks to eliminate, to do this one, which is right outside Pulse nightclub, where 49 mostly LGBTQ+ people were murdered in 2016. This crosswalk was never about politics for us. It was about love, safety. It was about creating a spark of joy for folks who come by. It's about finding power in pain. They're the ones who made it political today. And they're the ones who decided it was appropriate to erase an entire community here in Orlando. We're not going to let it stand. We're going to do everything we can to restore this crosswalk, but to also fight back against the extremism coming out of both the state of Florida and the White House.
Oh, that's terrible.
You seem kind of psyched.
No, I'm bummed. But I wasn't bummed. I was stoked.
The reason why they painted over this, Producer Jack, is because pedestrian infrastructure needs to be standardized. It needs to be instantly recognizable. That's the point of having signage and infrastructure to begin with. If you start messing with that, you start messing with instantly recognizable features, you invite a little bit of chaos to your roadway. And second of all, we do not need crosswalks to affirm our sexuality. If you want to erect a memorial for the Pulse nightclub shootings, that's fine. But a crosswalk ain't it, especially when you're going to use that as an excuse to charge people with a hate crime for driving over it when a crosswalk is designed to be driven over to begin with. So I think that this, breathless outrage over losing a rainbow crosswalk is totally misguided. And, I'm going to throw that right back at them. They were all the time teasing conservatives and saying, oh, you're triggered by a rainbow crosswalk. Well, now they're triggered by a non-rainbow crosswalk. They are breathless and threatened by just a normal crosswalk. These people are nuts, Producer Jack. Speaking of nuts, CNN, they applied what I think is a surprisingly complimentary nickname to President Trump following his law enforcement action in the city of Washington, D.C., where now they're comparing him to Batman.
Let's get right to what America's talking about. Donald Trump makes himself Batman, and the nation's capital is Gotham City. The President of the United States has declared himself crime fighter in chief, and he's taking over Washington's police force.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Because he's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him. Because he can take it. Because he's not a hero. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight.
I don't think CNN thought that one through thoroughly, but hey, if they want to compare him to one of the coolest comic book characters in the Caped Crusader, let them have at it. Stay tuned for more here on Saturday Night on The Circle, coming up next.
Can't win playing by traditional sets of rules.
93 WIBC.
Eric Menendez explained why he killed his mother.
Another update.
It is an event about culture.
It's just minutes away.
Community and tradition.
We're going to continue our commitment to eliminate this DEI nonsense.
Trying to make sense of it all.
Child sex abuse material on several devices that he owns.
Stay in the know.
They continue to fight and they continue to kill people.
Higher tariffs are remaking the global trading system.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Everyone is talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation. Like your neighbor Dennis.
I was in the process of refinishing my garage and, trying to turn it into a man cave. So I started searching, online, and I ran across Galaxy.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings is not epoxy. It's better.
First thing I wanted to do initially is I wanted to repair where the concrete had eroded. They said they could do that. I said, well, heck, let me go ahead and get the entire floor covered.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
They were so courteous and respectful of the home and the property. And when they're done, they cleaned up, picked up, swept up. It was like they were never there.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
I would recommend Galaxy over any other competitor, hands down. You're going to be taken care of and you're going to be satisfied. These guys know what they're doing.
When it comes to your home, it's important to sell it to someone you can trust. Simple Quarters has helped over 3,000 families sell their homes in Indiana.
I'm excited to start the new chapter of my life. I'm going to be moving 2 states away to be with my husband. Ronnie came out to do my walkthrough. It was great. We had a chance to talk about the house. We had a chance to listen to what my goals were, and they helped me to meet them. Then I had the offer, I believe, within 2 hours of them coming through and doing the walkthrough. Simple Quarters never tried to change their offer at any point during the process. Once they gave me that offer, it stood. The offer was absolutely fair. They did explain to me how they came to that price, and it was a fair offer. The best part about this process is I didn't have to make any repairs to the house. Simple Quarters has taken it as is, which is a huge stress relief. It just couldn't have worked out better. It really couldn't have.
Call Simple Quarters 317-900-HOME. 317-900-HOME.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
See a wreck on 465? Find a new pothole on your way to work? You can let Matt Bear know and help out your fellow travelers. Text WIBC to 317-239-9393 and join the text club. This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Well, looks like, Producer Jack, these billionaires just can't leave well enough alone. According to reports from the Post, New York Post, they are saying that another unnamed billionaire plans to return to the wreck of the Titanic more than 2 years after the infamous Ocean Gate disaster that resulted in the fatalities of all aboard. You know what? Producer Jack, to that I say, go for it. Have at it. If these billionaires want to spend millions of dollars of money and risk their lives to traverse to the bottom of the ocean just to see the wreck of the Titanic, I completely understand. But that said, they're on their own, Producer Jack. If this happens again, there should be no expectation that there will be a global search for the wreckage or for their submersible if something wrong should happen again. We cannot afford to throw the world's resources after these billionaires putting themselves in sticky situations. So look, if you want to go back down to the wreck of the Titanic, that's fine. But if you do so, you're on your own. I think that's only fair. Stay tuned for Hour 2 coming up next on Saturday Night on The Circle.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new 2025 RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $299 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models, approved credit, plus tax tag title license 249 dealer doc. RAV4 model 4432, Tacoma model 7540. 36 months, $29.99 due, zero security, 10,000 annual miles, 15 cents per mile thereafter. Expires 9/1.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam. When I came home, I didn't know where to turn.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory's been never giving up hope. My wife is always there to remind me we have a life to live.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran, but after I got out, I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet. Now I'm getting things right with my family.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. I am a veteran. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Bond denied. Angelo Bavaro, Fox News. The undocumented migrant charged with causing a deadly crash, killing 3 people in Florida. facing a judge. Fox's Madison Scarpino.
The 28-year-old Indian national made a Zoom call into court. He's facing 3 counts of vehicular homicide, 3 counts of manslaughter, and he now has no bond. Singh did not yet plead guilty or not guilty. The judge acknowledged Singh is an illegal alien, saying no conditions of release would ensure his appearance at trial. All this comes after Singh allegedly killed 3 people on a Florida highway earlier this month. Video shows Singh making an illegal U-turn in an 18-wheeler while a minivan crashes into the truck.
Singh's brother has also been arrested and faces deportation. The Trump administration is suspending visas for foreign truck drivers in response to this incident. Kilmer Abrego Garcia returned to Maryland after being released from a Tennessee jail on Friday, where ICE is now threatening to detain him again and deport him to Uganda. His lawyer, Simon Sandoval Moschenberg, calling that move completely unreasonable.
It is preposterous that they would send him to Africa, to a country where he doesn't even speak the language, a country with documented human rights violations, when there are so many other options.
According to those documents from ICE and the Department of Homeland Security, Abrego Garcia may be deported to Uganda in no less than 72 hours, and he must also check in with immigration officials in Baltimore on Monday. A newly developed tropical storm was named on Saturday southeast of Bermuda and is expected to strengthen as it tracks northward over the weekend. Forecast models show Tropical Storm Fernand is expected to approach hurricane strength but stay well east of the U.S. coastline. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Janice Dean, Fox News senior meteorologist and host of the Janice Dean podcast. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Janice Dean podcast at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to spread the sunshine.
America's listening to Fox News. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests to hear their take on American life, politics, and entertainment. And don't forget, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
IU police responding to a shooting before classes even start. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. An 18-year-old woman is now in custody after IU police say she shot someone near campus early Saturday morning. Officers responded to a call at around 2:30 a.m. The woman tried to flee the scene in a car, but was tracked down by officers and taken into custody. Campus police said the victim was shot in the leg. They also believe neither of the two are affiliated with Indiana University, but that they knew each other. A man is dead, another person injured from a shooting early Saturday morning on the near north side of Indianapolis. A man was taken to the hospital in critical condition but died there. The other injured person went to a hospital for treatment.
Should be able to go out and about on a Friday night, Saturday morning, without the fear of being shot or robbed or whatever.
IMPD officer John Arvin told reporters at the scene that police are working to gather more information and gain possible leads on a suspect or suspects. There's an agreement in place on merging the Adams, Markleville, Lapel, Stony Creek, and South Madison fire territories into one unified department. That will begin January 1st of 2026. And Notre Dame is putting a new twist on a timeless tradition for the first time in more than 60 years. Lynn Clark reports.
Created by Fighting Irish Media, the new logo shows the leprechaun in full motion with a football tucked under his arm. It's the first in a series of sports-specific logos fans will see this year. The new look will be on the sidelines, courtside, and on merchandise that is already hitting the shelves. Len Clark, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Most remain dry, low temperature tonight, around 60 degrees. Sunday, mostly sunny, high temperatures in the mid-70s. And looking ahead to Monday, highs in the low to mid-70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Mike loves summer in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. And right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
The thing about the Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Feels like man can't trust his kind today. Love has died and death is here to stay.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPZ.
Welcome to Hour 2 of Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher. Producer Jack is on the board. And if you missed a moment of the show, make sure to find our podcasts uploaded to WIBC.com, as well as my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. This segment, I wanted to touch briefly on one of the most troubling stories to make the rounds in the news this week, stemming from an accident about 11 days ago on August 12th that was caused by an illegal immigrant truck driver. You probably heard it discussed on the Fox Top of the Hour news update, killing 3 people, Producer Jack. And this was an entirely unnecessary, totally preventable accident that was caused by the negligence and recklessness of this illegal immigrant who was attempting to do a U-turn in an illegal U-turn zone. This was for an access for maintenance workers and patrol vehicles, but not certainly for trucks or for other interstate vehicles. They are forbidden from using it, and that didn't stop this guy who blocked the total width of the road with his trailer, even if the driver wanted to. At the moment he saw the vehicle blocking his path and slammed on the brakes, it still would have been too late. And unfortunately, it resulted in the death of all 3 individuals in that Chrysler. But what really grinds my gears here, Producer Jack, in addition to being an illegal immigrant who was given a commercial driver's license both in California and in the state of Washington, and those are difficult to get. They do not hand out commercial driver's licenses, or they shouldn't, to just anybody, although it appears that they do in liberal states like California and Washington. But despite having that driver's license, when the Department of Transportation federal authorities finally questioned Harjinder Singh, he got just 2 of 12 questions correct when being tested for sign reading English language proficiency. And out of the 4 major highway signs that they showed him, he was just able to correctly identify 1 of them. And if I had to guess, it was probably the stop sign. I don't know that for sure, but if you're going to recognize anything, probably going to be that famous red octagonal stop sign. But this is the danger of licensing illegal immigrants, putting them in charge of 40-ton commercial vehicles, and it's the recklessness that liberals are inviting onto our roadways that is endangering lives. And now you have governors like J.B. Pritzker over there in Illinois. He's doubling down. He says it's not good enough, and Democrats will continue to stand for this lawlessness, continue to protect illegal immigrants, and damn the consequences on your personal life, something that he also inflicted in the state of Illinois when an illegal immigrant killed one of the citizens in that state.
Potential 2028 presidential candidate J.B. Pritzker isn't backing down on Democrat Party policies.
To the pundits and the critics about what direction the National Democratic Party needs to go, I say take a look at Illinois Democrats. Yes, winning elections is partly about messaging and strategy, but it's mostly about values and delivering on them. And our values are exactly where they ought to be.
But sadly, those same values and policies are what allowed an illegal migrant with a history of drunk driving to crash into and kill Darcy Connolly Brunner, the mother of former WNBA star Sophie Brunner. Police say he was driving in Freeport, Illinois, when he crossed into the opposite lane, striking Brunner head-on, killing them both.
Am I evil? Am I like an evil person?
Oh my God. I mean, absolutely. Do I not tell you that enough? You are like the most evil guy I know, man.
It's not racist. It's not discriminatory. It's not exclusionary to require people driving on your roadways to read the signs, Producer Jack. If I traveled over to England, or to the Europe, I should say, I would not be able to drive in France. I would not be able to drive in Italy. I would not be able to drive in Germany. Why? It's not because I can't drive a car well enough here. It's because I can't read those signs, Producer Jack. It's because I am not familiar with their laws, with their signs, and I could endanger somebody if I were put on the roadways. Those same rules very obviously should apply here in America as well, but liberals are so lost in their confused ideology that they believe it's unfair and discriminatory to require people to be able to operate motor vehicles functionally and efficiently here in the United States. And that's ridiculous. It's something that is actually endangering and putting lives at risk. Because like I said at the beginning of the segment, those three people, their lives were totally wasted. It was utterly preventable. This was not an accident. It was a malicious negligence, and it was inflicted by liberals who are lost in their ideology and are endangering your lives to make their utopian values come to fruition. So yeah, I think it's unacceptable, and now the feds are obviously prosecuting the illegal immigrant truck driver, and his brother is being deported as well. So more power to him. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Coming up next, friend of the show, Brian Baker, comes back on the program, and we're going to talk about changes that are washing over Hollywood. So stay tuned for that conversation coming up next.
It's hot out there. The weather's hot.
And when we say hot,
but the headlines, they're even hotter.
I mean extremely hot.
The news of the day is heating up.
IMPD officers shot at least 3 times. One suspect was also shot.
Diego Morales, Secretary of State, in his bizarro international travel.
Playing out right in front of us every single day.
Stay cool.
Finally, a cool down is coming.
Stay informed.
All the information right here.
Stay with 93 WIBC.
School's out. What are you going to do with the stacks of your kids' A-plus papers, artwork, and jerseys from the year? Probably box them up and store them in an out-of-sight space, like your basement. Your basement needs to be safe and dry. If your basement is showing any problem signs, condensation, wet floors and walls, musty smells, mold and rot, Indiana Foundation Service can help. These problem signs can be an indicator that your home might be due for basement waterproofing. From wall anchors to vapor barriers and sump pumps and dehumidifiers, they've seen it all and can do it all. This includes encapsulating your crawl space too, and making that a safe space for your valuable belongings and added storage. They'll work with you to find the permanent solution your basement and crawl space needs to stay dry year-round. Visit IndianaFoundation.com for a free inspection and no-pressure quote today. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
As kids go back to school, it's time for you to go back to confidence. We Grow Hair Indy helps men and women regain youthful hair with the latest technology in hair restoration and hair transplants. We Grow Hair Indy helps adults get an A+ in appearance with real lasting hair restoration. Whether you're presenting in the boardroom or coaching from the sidelines, confidence starts on top. The team at We Grow Hair Indy uses industry-leading technology to deliver natural results. So while the kids sharpen pencils, you can sharpen your look. Don't be late. Book your free consultation now. Visit WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995 for your free evaluation. 317-522-2995. Get extra credit for investing in your confidence. While the kids are getting back to school, you can get back to your roots. Visit WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995 and tell them Rob sent you.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
Have you tried Wings Etc's new ranch fire sauce? House-made ranch with a fiery kiss of fresh ground habanero peppers and garlic. New ranch fire on our hand-breaded chicken sandwich? Big flavor. On a jalapeno bacon burger? Big flavor. On anything, wings, fries, pretzel bites? Big flavor. When you want to dance with spicy ranch, come to the folks who've been flying the big flavor flag since 1994. Wings Etc. We got your big flavor right here. Visit wingsetc.com.
My name is Jamie Bowles, and I was diagnosed with non-small cell lung cancer in December of 2018. Nobody would even know looking at me that I have stage 4 lung cancer, and I'm grateful for biomarker testing for that. When I was sitting down with my oncologist, there was already state-of-the-art medication available that I was going to be put on right then and there. Ask your doctor how comprehensive biomarker testing before treatment may help you decide on the best treatment. Visit NoOneMissed.org to learn more.
A public service message from Longevity Foundation.
The Phone Ready quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics will help you decide if you and your child are ready for their first phone. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz. Their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your Bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher. The podcasts are uploaded to WIBC.com and SaturdayNightOnTheCircle.fireside.fm. Plus, you can hop in the YouTube chat from 7 to 9 every Saturday night. It seems now that the winds of change are blowing through Hollywood as Paramount CEO David Ellison announced the company would shift focus and make more fun movies geared towards middle America. Elsewhere, other executives also appear to be reading the tea leaves and reevaluating their productions after a decade of DEI-infused devastation wrought across the industry. But are these changes too little too late, especially as production companies now face the added cost of tariffs factored into their budget thanks to the Trump administration? To answer these questions and more, we're joined by the writer, broadcaster, and stuntman extraordinaire, the always insightful gentleman from Georgia, Brian Baker, joins the program. Thanks for coming on the show, man. It's been a while. Happy to have you here.
What an intro. Thanks for having me back on, man. I feel like I'm coming home finally. It has been way too long.
So tell us what you've been up to in Georgia. What's going on lately?
It's been a crazy year, man. My daughter turned 9 this year, and she just started up in 4th grade, and I've been out kind of living amongst the normies in the real world, selling machinery, which we're going to talk a little bit about that, I know, but we're just like everybody else in America, just trying to keep bills paid and food on the table, and do our best to have a little bit of fun in between.
Yeah, it's hard to keep food on the table when the prices at the grocery store keep going up and up and up, and now it's even steaks are getting priced out of most American dinner tables, and that's like the most American of meats. It's disappointing.
Yes, and let me tell you, it's coming at a terrible time for me because I've been dealing with these weird health issues for the last couple of years, and I just decided that I'm doing the carnivore diet, and I'm amazed at the research. People that get on an all-meat diet and they wind up just problems with inflammation and all kinds of different diseases and ailments. They get massive improvements. So I thought, you know what, nothing else has been working for me. I'm going to give this a try. And you know what, man, I feel great. The only problem is I'm going to take out a second mortgage on the home in order to finance the food.
Just to keep it all going.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's a nightmare. But one thing I wanted to tap your opinion on was Paramount CEO David Ellison announcing that he's going to shift focus for the company to make more fun movies that are geared towards middle America. And I think you see this this kind of ethos being resonated elsewhere. I've now seen reports that Disney is looking for another franchise that's going to bring back young men into watching their movies. So it seems like the Hollywood CEOs have finally gotten the message that this DEI storytelling isn't panning out. I think I also just saw another headline that not a single one of these big tentpole movies have crossed $700 million at the box office this year. That's got to be a problem.
Yeah, well, and by the way, what none of those heads of the studios tell you is that 90% of those productions will be made overseas, and they won't be employing any kind of crew here in the U.S. They'll just fly over some of their A-listers and get all those nice tax advantages from places like Ireland and Australia. But, yeah, I think there's a couple of things going on. I think the American tastes have certainly adjusted a little bit because we had all that DEI crap just jammed down our throat for so long. The superhero movie, I mean, that trend has been going on for at least, 20 years now, so it kind of feels like that's played itself out. But just think about how chaotic life is and how many stressors we've got going on and cost of living. I mean, it's just every single day you are exposed to more and more horror that's going on around the world. I think it's kind of this thing where people just want to escape and have feel-good stories. And look at something like, The Chosen. I mean, there's something that this huge phenomenon that has captured people all across the country. They're watching this together as a family and escaping the reality of what we deal with just today here in the world right now with just all the political climate and the economic challenges. People just want more and more escapism. We can wouldn't it be grand to get back to the days when we had shows, the Andy Griffith Show and Mr. Ed? I don't think we'll ever go that far. But I have to say that I'm sure that these CEOs, it's not as though out of some kind of, I don't know, I guess, moral compass, they're saying, gee, we really ought to contribute something good to the world. We really should try and lift people up instead of try and force our opinions down their throats or change the culture. It's just about how they're going to be able to make their money. And so a trend that's helping, and so that's what they're going to chase.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely out of financial necessity because they have completely devastated their own industry, and they've changed things so much. I'm curious about your opinion on how things have changed there in Georgia. You mentioned that now a lot of the productions are taking place overseas, but at least that part of that's got to be fallout from the strikes that happened a couple of years ago, where they were negotiating these higher contract budgets and then trying to get a guaranteed number of positions on the writers for the writers on these production teams, and that's going to drive up costs. And sure, yeah, things are going to go overseas. How's it impacted things over there in Georgia?
Well, I mean, that's why I got out. I saw this coming a long, long time ago. And the strikes, I mean, yeah, that was absolutely the final nail in the coffin, as if these unions were trying to negotiate like it was the good old days 40 years ago when you could really throw their weight around and demand higher wages and all kinds of benefits. And it just, the economic realities of business have changed. But also the fact that technology has come along and it's made it so easy for productions to be mobile. And quite frankly, Georgia, of course, had its own incentive, which drove a lot of business away from California. They were shooting movies here in Georgia. They were shooting movies in Texas and even some over in Ohio. But now it's a global game. So you have like Australia or Ireland, as I mentioned at the beginning of our interview, that are really aggressive, and you can ship an entire crew over to these countries. You can put them up in hotels, you can feed them over there, and spend 5 months shooting a movie, and it's much, much cheaper than just using local crew in Los Angeles and shooting in L.A. So it's a major problem, and I don't think the production is ever coming back. I mean, the one that really upset me the most was there was a movie that came out about a year ago with Ryan Gosling called The Fall Guy, based on the old 1980s TV series with Lee Majors, where he played a stuntman who was also a private eye or bounty hunter.
Yeah, I remember when it was released. I didn't catch that in theaters.
Yeah, well, no more quintessential like 1980s TV series in terms of like highlighting Los Angeles, all these great LA locations. And they shot the entire film, the movie that they did with Gosling, they shot the entire thing in Australia. It's just, it just doesn't feel right, but Yeah, I think the industry on the whole has changed, and streaming changed everything. And there was a huge explosion right after COVID when everybody was able to get back to work, and there was this backlog of production that needed to be completed. So for a while, I mean, the number of people that were being employed in the industry went way, way up. And then you had your COVID compliance officers, which also added to the number of people that were making their living in the film industry. And then once the streamers started pulling back and realizing, this model isn't working, a lot of people kind of found themselves having to figure out what else they're going to do to make a living. It has killed some businesses down here. I mean, tracking vehicles that are utilized, they have camera cranes on them, cameras, and they capture chase scenes and stunts. And, I mean, they're struggling just to keep their doors open at this point in time. Prior to the strikes, and they were going like gangbusters. So I think the industry is irreparably harmed by what happened. It's just not going to come back.
Tell us how tariffs are factored into all this, because I know you got a few thoughts about the tariff roller coaster that the Trump administration has wrought on our economy. You never know what it's going to be. It's this percent one day, it's that percent another day, and he appears to be using this as a negotiating tactic, but it's wreaking some real havoc in the economy.
Well, yeah, and it's really hurting a lot of manufacturers, and that's what I'm dealing with on a regular basis now, because, I mean, I'm out in the field selling large industrial machinery, right? So these are big, like, fiber lasers, industrial lasers. They're used for cutting plate and sheet metal, things like press brakes, shears. Well, there are tons and tons of manufacturing facilities all across the country, and what they call job shops, little shops that have several different pieces of equipment, and they'll get an order to bend a certain number of parts. Whoever the manufacturer is, they might be working for BMW. Maybe they're making insert for the car doors, or they've got stamp presses. A lot of work out there at shops that are doing metalworking, right? So what happens is, Trump talks about wanting to bring all of this work back to the U.S. and bring manufacturing back to the U.S., and that's great. But the issue is that a lot of the machines that are made that you have to have in order to actually run these businesses come from other countries. They're built in Germany. They're built in Italy, right? So when you have these machines that are required for these folks to run their businesses coming from other countries, and you slap them with a 10, 15, a 20% tariff, it dramatically increases the cost of that piece of equipment to the end user, because the importers are not the ones that are paying the taxes on those machines. So a perfect example, and it shows how poorly this entire policy was implemented and just how they didn't think things through properly. I had a customer up in northern Georgia, and they do a lot of work for the HVAC industry, right? They bought a laser from me. The laser comes from Italy. They bought it in the end of 2024, before Trump went into office, before these tariffs went into play, all right? Yeah. The machine didn't get delivered until 2025, after the tariffs went into place. Well, the tariffs, there was no grace window at all. It just was immediately. Anything that, as soon as it hits the U.S. shore, if the tariffs are in place, it doesn't matter when you bought it, when the PO went through, now you got to pay this tariff. So I got a customer who buys $1 million machine, and all of a sudden he has $150,000 that he's got to come up with in tariff that he has to add now to the cost of this equipment that he wasn't counting on when he bought it in 2024. Then you have other places like the company I call on that make poultry processing equipment. A lot of the parts that they need in order to build these poultry processing lines, a lot of the parts that they need actually come from China. Well, that's a major problem when Trump comes along and says we're going to put a 50% tariff on Chinese imports. And the problem for manufacturers is nobody has any direction or any idea what's happening from day to day, because it's constantly changing depending on what Trump's mood is, right? So that's really, I mean, well-intentioned, poorly implemented, and poorly thought out in advance.
That's the problem with the whole tariff thing, because economies thrive on consistency and stability, and when the markets are unpredictable are when we get these huge retractions in any industry, and that's the element X that's being thrown into the economy right now with the Trump tariffs and why they're so ill-advised. Unfortunately, Brian, we're running out of time, so we got to leave it there. But I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, and I'd love to have you back again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on, bud.
Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. This is Saturday Night on the Circle. Come back soon.
It's Terry Stacy, and not too many locally owned businesses in central Indiana have been around 80 years. But Cardwell Do It Best Home Center on the south side has stood the test of time. This year, Cardwell Do It Best is celebrating 80 years of serving Indianapolis, and they're saying thank you with some really great deals. Cardwell Do It Best is your discount roofing headquarters, featuring dimensional roofing as low as $21 per bundle. With a wide variety of colors in stock, you'll find the perfect match for your home. Need to freshen up inside? Check out their full line of best look quality paints by Sherwin-Williams with paint and primer in one and custom computer paint matching to get your color just right. And for the yard, they carry a full line of trusted lawn and garden products, including Scott's Lawn Care to keep your grass green. Come celebrate 80 years strong at Cardwell Do It Best, locally owned, community trusted, and always ready to help you do it best. 3205 Madison Avenue, or shop online at cardwellhomecenter.com.
It's just alcohol. Everybody drinks. You may have already heard this statement from your teen. I'm Tammy Silverman with Indiana Youth Institute. Alcohol is the substance most commonly abused by teens. Survey data shows that 2 in 10 Indiana high school students reported drinking in the past month, and more than half of Hoosier teens say it would be easy to get alcohol. How do you talk with your teen about alcohol use, especially if they see peers or adults drinking? First, understand that your child may point out contradictions in our society's views on alcohol. It's okay to acknowledge those facts. Talk with your teen about the many risks of alcohol use. During your conversation, you can both validate their views and uphold your family values. You are the first line of defense against alcohol abuse, so don't be afraid to talk to your teen. What you say has a big influence on their decision to drink or not. This Kids Count Minute is a message from Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids count on you.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Everyone's talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like business owner Brian.
Yeah, Galaxy was great. We have a business where a lot of the service techs are working out in the field, and they'll come in and they'll have even some mud or something on our shoes. So if we're having a meeting, I needed a flooring that could stand up to that, but still look good as an office setting.
Well, if you own a home or a business, Galaxy Concrete Coatings got you covered.
Galaxy was great to work around our schedule. They were able to come in on a Saturday, and the job was completed over the weekend, and we were back in business, so we didn't miss a step.
Lots of styles to choose from, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
It's very nice looking. It's very durable. Really makes the room stand out and shine.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
Galaxy was quick to respond. They were quick to give us a solution and quick to get it completed as well. And they're going to take care of you.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Emmer Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Fall is here, hear the yell, back to school, ring the bell.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle, and I am your Bohemian Codger, Ethan Hatcher. My podcasts are uploaded to WIBC.com and Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. Plus, we're streaming live on the YouTube machine 7 to 9 every Saturday night. Hop in the chat and join the fun.
In their hasty quest to expand their power in Congress, it appears Republicans are edging ever closer to igniting a gerrymandering civil war across America. Democrats in California have already moved to counteract Texas' proposed politically driven redistricting of their own state. This crass politicization of redistricting powers has the potential to backfire spectacularly on Republicans, and now Indiana looks to follow this directive and potentially call a special session to further cement their power at enormous cost to taxpayers. There's one man who's willing to call balls and strikes on both parties because no politician should have a guaranteed seat to power, and that man is producer Carl, who joins us for another edition of Carl's Conspiracy Corner.
You're listening to Carl's Conspiracy Corner. The truth is out there.
Have you ever seen a commie drink a glass of water?
Well, yeah, I can't say I have.
The views expressed by Conspiracy Carl are those of Carl and Carl alone. They are not the views of his station or its distributors. I mean, obviously.
We're back beneath the streets of Indianapolis, deep in a undisclosed broadcasting bunker. Producer Carl, tell us more about this special session that Indiana Republicans are now calling for to redistrict the state and get what? Another 2 seats in Congress?
Maybe one additional seat.
Maybe one?
Because they're not going to get Carson's seat.
Right. So they wouldn't call a special session for tax relief, for property tax relief, but they will do it to help cement their power in Congress. So if it benefits them, they'll call a special session. And oh, by the way, of course, there's an enormous cost to you that's baked in there.
Yeah, so with the introduction, one would think, as an outsider to knowing me, they would think that I would be opposed to the redistricting just based on that argument. Like, what are we going to gain here? One seat? What I'm appalled by is this cost of this special session.
Sure.
Jacob Stewart from the Indy Star was on the Kendall and Casey program the other day. Let's hear it.
But, a special session would also cost at least $500,000, if not more, depending on how long it takes.
Okay, wait a minute. So let's talk about that, because Braun came out the other day and tried to go, it'll be like $150,000. There's no way they're doing a special session for $150,000,
yeah,
right?
Maybe a couple legislators' paychecks would be $150,000.
Yeah. Well,
no.
and you're the perfect guy to ask this question because you work there. You know how this operates. He's full of it when it's saying $150,000.
Right. It's a part-time legislature. So what we're paying them now is just for the first every other year. It's January through March, and then every budget session it's January through around May. So if we have a special session, that's all the salaries of these legislators that we need to pay per diem.
Now, when I heard the $150,000 mark, I was horrified by that. I'm like, why? Why is it $150,000 to basically do a hand vote and say, all those for redistricting say aye, all those opposed say nay? Haven't they heard of Zoom?
Well, don't forget, these are the same people who are willing to pay $28,000 to ferry Governor Braun back and forth from his house in Jasper to the State House with a helicopter.
This is ridiculous. When we are introduced to the concept of our government, we are told that the people in government are public servants. So where did that whole public servant thing go? Clearly, they're not there to serve the public. They're there to serve themselves.
Right.
This is not a job that you should be getting rich off of.
This has nothing to do with an enormous population influx to Indiana. This is obviously politically driven, and at best you're getting an additional 2 seats for Congress, but you're igniting this gerrymandering civil war. And when you have high-density, Democrat states like New York or California or Illinois, they can inflict a lot of reciprocal damage if that's the direction the country is going to go. This has no benefit to anyone, including, of course, ultimately Hoosiers, because when you guarantee any politician a permanent seat to power, immediately they become complacent and driven by their own interests, not the interest of the people.
Well, J.D. Vance has an answer to what you said.
We spoke with the governor, with the Speaker of the House there in Indiana, and the Senate President, and the message I delivered is pretty straightforward. We want a unified Republican team. We want to fight together, win together, make big things happen for the American people, and obviously the people of the state of Indiana together. But one of the things that you see in a lot of red states is blue states have really aggressively gerrymandered such that they've actually made it harder for the majority of the state of Indiana to have their voice heard in their federal elections. Because if California has crazy gerrymanders, Illinois has crazy gerrymanders, New York has crazy gerrymanders, what it does is it actually suppresses the will of the people in states like Indiana. And the other thing that we talked about, and I didn't even realize this, Maria, until a couple of years ago, that for apportioning representatives, you actually count illegal aliens. So even though illegal aliens theoretically are not supposed to vote, we know sometimes they do, you still count illegal aliens for congressional apportionment. So California has way more House seats than it should because they have such a high population of illegal aliens. So they get rewarded for welcoming illegal aliens into their state, giving them federal benefits, actually asking the taxpayers of states like Ohio to subsidize them, and then those same taxpayers in Ohio and Indiana and elsewhere, they have fewer congressional representatives because of what California has allowed to happen. That's ridiculously unfair, and the only real way to fight back against it is for us to redistrict in some ways as aggressively as these hard blue states have done.
No, JD, what's wrong with you? He was on fire. He really he nailed the heart of the issue, which is the fact that they have diluted the congressional representation of Middle America by this enormous influx of illegal immigrants who are counted for congressional purposes, even though they don't have the ability to vote. So yes, that has enormously benefited California, but the solution isn't to aggressively gerrymander and redistrict Republican states. It's to challenge this at the Supreme Court and get their votes excluded from congressional representation in the census. That's the game that Democrats are playing.
Well,
He totally skipped over the point.
I rarely disagree with you, Ethan. The concern is that the Republicans have a very thin majority in the House, and we know darn well if the Democrats recapture the House, it's going to be the last 2 years of Donald Trump impeachment. Nothing will get done. Now, Rob Kendall would make the argument, yeah, well, what will the Republicans do? They will just do nonsense and increase your taxes, increase your costs. We don't have enough time to go into all that. What I wanted to highlight of what J.D. Vance said there was what California and what other blue states are doing is they're suppressing the votes of flyover country. And I have been saying this to you and to all the people that work here at the radio station over and over again. That is the argument to take out the electoral vote of all of these states that don't require IDs. If they don't require IDs, we cannot with certainty know that these people actually won elections. It's a joke. It doesn't matter really what Gavin Newsom says. They can just install Democrats and say, we won. And that's because people were upset by Donald Trump. You cannot certify the validity with no IDs. And what the Republicans must do, and what they're not going to do, this is why I call their bluff, is they will not address the crux of the issue, which is blue states have illegitimate elections, and we shouldn't even certify their elections and having them as Congress people in the House if you don't have an ID. It's taking away our vote here when another state is cheating.
So you and I have a point of agreement that the counting illegal immigrants is diluting the votes in Middle America by overrepresenting blue states that welcome these immigrants into their borders.
But counting their votes too, which they can't certify.
So my question is, why isn't the solution to challenge this at the Supreme Court level, especially when you know that you have a fairly receptive audience because of Donald Trump's appointments?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I would suspect that the answer is the clock is ticking on the midterms, and they need to do what's easier now. And what they have to do regarding Supreme Courts is they actually have to get a case, right? So somebody has to file a complaint, it gets overturned, and after several appeals, it eventually gets to the Supreme Court. And I don't think we have the time for that.
Well, changing the entire political system, for political expediency seems like an entirely ill-advised idea.
Well, I think it's going to get messy for sure, but I really want people that
what's going to stop Democrats from doing this in the next time that they're
already
win the presidency?
doing it. They've all. the Democrats have been at war with this country since day one. I have to say, and I started this segment with saying I don't disagree with the redistricting plan, because finally we're seeing some Republicans fighting back. The war has already been declared against us. Now it's time to start fighting back.
But giving these Republicans a guaranteed seat for power is not a recipe for making them receptive to the calls of the people.
You don't think it's working here in Indiana?
Well, yes, exactly, Carl. Like, look at our own state.
Well, talking about clocks, I can see that the clock is running down on this segment.
All right. Thanks for another segment, Producer
right.
Carl.
Thank you, Ethan.
Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. We got more on the way.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/today. Ethos.com/today.
It's not just adults who can feel stressed out. Our children feel stressed too. I'm Tammy Silverman of Indiana Youth Institute. Between school demands, maintaining friendships, and expectations from adults, it's no wonder that children sometimes feel stressed out. But unlike adults, experts say children may not be able to recognize stress or know how to cope. Luckily, you can help your child handle the challenges they're facing. Start by making yourself available to talk and be a good listener. Let your child express their views, and when you respond, focus on your child's feelings rather than your own. You can also ask your child what they need from you, whether it's advice or help solving a problem. But if stress is still overwhelming, experts recommend you reach out to a licensed mental health professional to make sure your child gets the support they need and deserve. This Kids Count Minute is a message from Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids count on you.
Want in on special WIBC contests?
That is correct.
Join the text club. Text WIBC to 317-239-9393. Exclusive giveaways are just a text away.
Monday, so good to me.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Monday morning.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle, wrapping things up here on a Saturday evening, and thanks for spending your time with me. Over the last few weeks, I've really enjoyed spending time with the wonderful folks on the First Day show with Terry, Stacy, Denny Smith, and producer Kylan. They've been inviting me on to do a Sunday show and tell, where I bring in elements from my collection and share their history. Last Sunday, they brought me in, and I got to share a couple of local antiques, which I thought were pretty exciting.
I'm intrigued to hear what Ethan has.
I'm too. Ethan, what do you have?
Okay, so
then we're going to talk about Michigan Street and New York.
Oh, Oh my God! I
This is
hate
a positive,
that change.
positive day.
I
positive
hate it.
thoughts.
This was the stupidest idea.
I just passed a delivery truck that had to stop clean in the middle of the road because they got that stupid isolated bike lane that's eating up half of available parking on New York Street.
How about that?
And so you got to drive now into the oncoming lane of traffic to get around these delivery vehicles because of the way that they have concocted New York and Michigan Street. This is a terrible idea. I hate these snooty anti-car activists and these bike enthusiasts.
They're winning with let me tell you, outgoing Washington Street either way, whoever is responsible, Indigo, you're making everybody's life a nightmare.
Well, one of
the
great things
by adding this bus lane now.
One of the great things about Indianapolis used to be how easy it was to navigate
to
for
get
communities.
around.
Yep.
We can't do that.
You could get from one side of the city to the other side of the city in 20 minutes, and that is so valuable for a city to have. And it's not that we have lost it; it's that it is being engineered into oblivion.
Right.
Listen,
I agree. I agree totally. That was one of my ways home. Was to New
You're
York.
always so bashful.
I just don't know why they decided to do it. Now you're behind buses that stop. You're in a one lane going one way and a one lane going the other.
Well, that's
in both roads.
That's
both
the design.
streets.
That's what they call traffic calming, because now you got to stop every 5 feet. It's very calm.
I'm so sorry. I brought it up. But my
All
husband
right, you
told
got
me we were
show and
talking about it
tell.
last night.
What you got in your pockets this
I'm
year?
sorry. Yes, Terry.
No,
had
I
asked me,
brought it up.
Terry had asked me to bring in some educational related items, and these
Back
are a
to
couple.
school.
Yeah, back to school. These are a couple local antiques that I have. This was a pamphlet that was handed out at Lilly Laboratories to medical students and chemists who were touring their factory, and this kind of just gave a little overview of what was going on. There's lovely pictures in there of just everything.
It's just truly maybe 25 pages or so.
It's a little longer than that. Yeah,
everything is yellowed a little bit. Why did you want that?
I love local antiques, and this is a relic of roughly the 1940s. Denny, you can take a look at that.
Actually, I'm going to show the audience.
Okay.
If you're streaming with us on YouTube, 93 WIBC, Denny's got it held up to the camera, showing some of the pages.
I mean, and you think about the value of Eli Lilly as a corporation to Indianapolis, how they have shaped the growth and development of this as an international destination for manufacturing.
Yeah.
I think they are still to date Indiana's largest corporation, and they made so many important innovations. Like one of the things that put them on the map and really accelerated their growth as a company in the 1920s was the mass production of insulin. I'm sure many diabetics are grateful for that. They manufactured 60% of all of the polio vaccines that were being churned out in 1955.
Didn't know that. Did not know that.
Yeah, so I mean, Eli Lilly, very important. Another advancement that they made in medical technology was they were the original people to invent the gelatin capsule. And sugar-coating pills.
Oh, my gosh.
And part of their legacy of sugar-coating pills, this is my other antique from Eli Lilly, and they would give this taste tester badge. And
Oh,
there, if
wow,
you want to
look
show
at that,
this
Denny.
to the camera there, Mr. Denny Smith.
That's really cool.
Yeah, this taste tester badge was given to the children of employees who tasted the medicine, and then they got to be a deputy taste tester, like, here, kid, swallow this potentially poisonous carcinogenic medication, and then we'll give you this little badge at the end of it.
Instead of money, did they pay these children, or did they just give them a badge?
No, that was the payment. This is the 1950s.
Yeah,
Danny.
so they end up with 6 fingers and 6 toes, and
That is really cool. How old is this, do you think, then?
This is about 75 years old.
I love
And
it.
at the time that this book was made in the 1940s, Eli Lilly as a corporation had already been around for about 65 years. They were founded in 1876 when Colonel Eli Lilly broke out on his own venture, and then the very next year he signed his brother to be the salesman, and then he sold the company to his son Josiah, who really took charge of this in the 1930s. Like, of all the corporations that you think were doing poorly in the Great Depression, Eli Lilly was doing just fine.
They used to have a bronze plaque on South Meridian just north of the Oceanair restaurant. It's a little alcove, and it says this is the former site of Eli Lilly on South
that was going to
Meridian.
be my question. Where was the original building?
South Meridian.
Right there. Okay.
Just north of, if you know where Oceanair is.
Yes, I do.
Just a small little brick building, and
Yep.
right outside of it said Eli Lilly Chemist.
Ethan, do you think that pamphlet will get any value through the years as it becomes even more of an antique? And
Sure, it'll pick up some modest value. I mean, again, name recognition with Eli Lilly as a brand and as an important pharmaceutical corporation. But antiques like this, I just like local antiques,
I do too.
and little pieces of local history.
it's our history. Yeah, exactly.
We have some things that are made by the Indiana Brewery. When there was, I mean, these are very old antiques that have been turned into lights, lamps and things. And I just love local. It is our history. The Eli Lilly, for those of you that can't watch us, the Eli Lilly Taster Badge is a blue, looks like a sheriff's badge. And it's so, and I had no idea that there was kid
Can you imagine a
tasters.
kid taking that to first grade and show, or sixth grade and show, look what I got. I'm a taste
So
tester.
cool. All right, Ethan, really good stuff.
I just love getting to come on the First Day Show with Terry, Stacy, and friends. They always bring a smile to my face, and I hope they brought one to yours as well. Thanks for spending another Saturday evening with me. Unfortunately, that's all the time I got, so I'll leave you with my parting words of wisdom, as always, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're with. Remember that life is a state of mind. See you next time.
People think slavery ended